I'm David Hall. Thanks for tuning into this video. Now, musical notes go up in alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We could label every single note on our music, but there's probably no need for that. But wouldn't it be so much easier if the composer's just labelled one note? If the composer just said, okay, that note's C, so the next one must be D, the next one must be E. Or the composer might say, the second line up, let's say that's G. And you can work out all the other notes in relation to that. Or the composer might say, this is F. Go for it, work out all the other notes. Now that's exactly what composers do. This symbol here tells you the position of C. The line that bisects this symbol is C, because this symbol is actually a very ornate letter C. Similarly, this symbol here that you've seen before, this symbol is actually a letter G, and over the years it's developed into the symbol we know now, and all it means is that this note is G. And this symbol here doesn't look much like an F, but the line that goes between the two dots is F. If you don't believe me, take a look at this image, which shows how the clefs have developed through the ages. The composers did used to just write a little letter, but over the years they've become more and more stylized into the clefs we know now. The C clef, the G clef, and the F clef. Now the names we normally call them, treble clef, bass clef, alto clef, derive from singing. The treble voice can sing quite comfortably that sort of number of notes, and it ties in nicely with the treble clef. So a treble can sing quite a few notes below G and quite a lot of notes above G. We call this the treble clef when it fits with the treble range. A treble is a boy singer or a girl singer, an unbroken voice. Similarly, the bass clef fits very nicely with the bass range. So if these are the notes a bass can sing, pop the clef in place. There's F. He can sing a few notes above, quite a lot of notes below. That's the range of a bass. If these are the notes that an alto might sing, the clef works well here. The alto can sing equally above middle C and below middle C. So we put C right in the middle. A tenor voice, again we use the C clef, but we put the C up on the fourth line up, because the tenor can sing a little bit above middle C and quite a lot below. This diagram shows middle C in each of those clefs. So for a treble, middle C is a low note. For a bass, middle C is quite a high note. On a piano, you're used to seeing a treble clef and a bass clef. They're the clefs we use most often on piano. And middle C, by chance, falls really nicely in the middle of those two clefs. It's a good note for beginners to learn because it looks similar in both clefs. It's the lowest note with the right hand, the highest note with the left when you're a beginner pianist.
At the piano. Download Haydn's string quartets opus 1, which are written with all three types of clef. Try to play the viola line, which is written in the alto clef. Maybe even try to play the whole texture.
So this chapter, chapter 6 of There's More to Playing the Piano, has been all about clefs. Now as a pianist you will get very familiar with the treble clef. The right hand tends to play in the treble clef. And you'll get very familiar with the bass clef. The left hand tends to be written in the bass clef. But it is also important to get to know these other clefs. If you ever accompany a viola player, it's important to be able to read the alto clef. If you ever find yourself conducting an orchestra, it's really important to be able to read the alto clef and the tenor clef. And if you ever fancy composing a string quartet, you need to know the alto clef. Now I've downloaded here the first movement of Haydn's first quartet. Haydn was a fantastic writer of string quartets. And I'm going to play each line in turn. So we'll start with the violin 1 in the treble clef. And then violin 2. Then the cello. And then the viola. Now if you remember, the middle line is middle C, so this starts just below middle C. all together. It's perhaps a bit challenging, but it's really good to get used to reading these clefs and to get used to reading a score, because there may well be times when you don't want to play a piece of music that's written for piano. You might want to play through a quartet to see how it goes, or you might want to play a full orchestral score in time. If you've not yet bought a copy of this book, do hop online, get yourself a copy. Every chapter covers a theory topic with a practical activity at the piano and a video.